Hi, second graders. Today we are going to be talking more about place value and the three different ways that you can write a number. Let's review what the three places are in a three-digit number. If my three-digit number is 328, I have three digits, 1, 2, 3, in three different places. 1, 2, 3. This place is called the ones place. This is the tens, and this is the hundreds. The ones place is smaller than the tens place, and the tens place is smaller than the hundreds place. So from left to right, it goes biggest to smallest. When we write our number three-digit number three different ways, we can start with writing it using base 10 blocks. So remember, when we write with base 10 blocks, we start with our hundreds. We'll use my same number, 328. The way we represent the hundreds is by using hundred squares. So you just draw a square like that. Because I have the number 3 underlined, because that's in the hundred spot, I make 300 squares. Then I go to the 10 spot, and I see that there's 2, so I'm going to draw 10 sticks. Each of these 10 sticks represent one 10. So if I have 2 10s, I draw 2 10 sticks. Finally, I go to the 1 spot. And for the 1 spot, I can draw a little circle just like this. And since I see that there are 8 ones, I'm going to draw 8 of these little circles. So this equals 328. I can check my work by counting. So when I count the hundreds, I count by hundreds. So I'll go 100, 200, 300, good. 10, 20, good. So I have 100, 200, 300, 310, 320, and now I go to my ones. 321, 322, 323, 324, 325, 326, 327, and 328. So I did it right. I made the number 328. What I see some people do sometimes is they like to use just one of the shapes to draw 328. So maybe they use the 10 stick, and I see them go, okay, there's a 3 here, so I'll go 1, 2, 3, and then a 2, 1, 2, and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. To me, this looks like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130. And we know that that's not right. So we have to use 3 different shapes when we're drawing hundreds, tens, and ones. Really, you could use any shapes. You could do 3 squiggles for hundreds, and then you could do triangles for tens, and you could do dots for ones. It wouldn't matter. But to make this easier, we're going to use the same 3 shapes. So you will always use squares to represent hundreds, sticks to represent tens, and circles to represent ones. The next part of writing a number 3 different ways is we have to show how many hundreds, tens, and ones there are. And to me, that's the easiest part because the answers are right in front of you. If I need to know how many hundreds there are, I just look at the first number because I know that's in the hundreds place. I just write the number 3 for tens. I see what's in the 10 spot and I write that number, and 8, which is in the ones. Finally, we use expanded form to write 3-digit numbers. When I write using expanded form, what I'm doing is I'm breaking this up into the 3 different parts and showing you how I would put them back together. So going from left to right, I'm going to start with the 100 spot. And if I write 3 hundreds, I'm basically writing 3 times 100 because there are 3 100s. An easier way to write that would just be to write 300. Then I do a plus sign because in expanded form, we are creating an equation. Then I look at my 10 spot and I see that I have 2 10s, so which is like writing 2 times 10. I know that 2 times 10 equals 20. So I write plus 20. And finally, I look at my 1 spot, don't forget your plus sign, and I have 8 1s, which is just like 8 times 1, which we know is 8, which equals 328. Another way I can remember how many zeros to put behind is I can remember that the 1 spot always has no zeros because it's just ones. In the 10 spot, I can see that we have 1 0, just like in the number 10, we have 1 0. And finally, in the 100 spot, I know that we always have 2 zeros because in the number 100, we have 2 zeros. So all I'm doing is I'm taking the number 100, I'm erasing that 1, and putting a 3. And that's what 300s means. Same with the 10s and same with the 1s. So when we put this all together and we use our number mats to show the 3 different ways to write a number, we have a little box just like this. And up here we have the standard form. So I'm going to pick a new number this time, and it's going to be 619. So this up here is standard form. Then over here, I draw it in base 10. So again, I'm starting with the hundreds. I'm drawing 600 squares. Then I look at my 10s and I just have 1, so I just draw a 1 10 stick. And finally, I have 9 1s, so I'm going to draw 9 of these little circles. Now, good mathematicians always check their work, so we should be checking our work every step of the way. I'm going to do that right now. So I have 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. Good so far. 610. Good. 611, 612, 613, 614, 615, 616, 617, 618, 619. Good, I did that right. Now I'm going to write it in expanded form in this square. So again, I start with my hundreds. I see that there's 6. So I'm going to write the number 6. Hundreds. So I know that I just draw 2 zeros after that. Then I do my plus sign. And I see that there's 1 10. So I do 1 and a 0 because it's in the 10 spot. Finally, I see there's 9 1s. So I don't have to do a 0. And then I write that it equals 619. And finally, we label out our hundreds, 10s, and 1s. This is really easy because the answer is right there. We know that this is the hundreds, this is the 10s, and this is the 1 because it goes in order from biggest to smallest. So there are 6 100s, 1 10, and 9 1s. The way you can check that this is right is if you read it from top to bottom, it should be the same as when you read it up here from left to right. And that's how you write a number 3 different ways.